Hey yo, what's good guys? Today we're gonna check out the history of the Houthis. After the latest events that occurred in Yemen, I wanna learn more about these people, the Houthis. I don't know anything about them. I mean, besides the news that we get from the newspapers, of course. So I wanna dive a little bit deeper into this matter. Let's go.
This is the slogan of the Houthi movement, a small rebel army who now rule over 70% of Yemenis and are fighting a bitter war against Saudi Arabia and its allies. But how did a group from the mountains in Yemen's far north take control, and what exactly do they want? The Houthis emerged in Yemen's northwestern Sada province in the 1990s, established by former MP and religious scholar Hussein al-Houthi. Al-Houthi said he wanted to protect and revive Zaydi Islam, a sect of Shiism that makes up 35% of Yemen's population. Zaydis have a long and powerful history in Yemen and had ruled large parts of the country under an imamate since the year 897. When a civil war broke out in North Yemen in 1962, the last imam was overthrown. The Houthis say that this, along with the ensuing government policies, left many Zaydis feeling increasingly disenfranchised. When al-Houthi emerged, he began to rail against the influence of US imperialism and Saudi Salafism on Yemen's rulers, in particular on President Ali Abdullah Saleh, who himself was a Republican Zaydi. Al-Houthi's ideas appealed to many, but not all Zaydis supported him. His opponents accused him of pro-Iran links and a desire to reinstate the imamate, a theocratic system of rule led by a religious leader who must be a descendant of the Prophet Muhammad.
لسنا مستعدين أن نرى أنفسنا جنودا لأمريكا. لسنا مستعدين أن نرى اليهود يعبثون في البلاد الإسلامية هنا وهنا. فنسكت وثقوا لأنهم لم يسمعوا أحد يتكلم.
The Houthis began gathering supporters and in 2004 launched an armed rebellion against Saleh after he attempted to arrest Hussein al-Houthi. A few months later, al-Houthi was killed by Yemeni police, but his death only fueled what would become 6 years of fighting, known as the Sada Wars. By 2009, the Houthi insurgency had spread beyond Sada province and into Saudi territory, where a large number of Saudi's Shia population lived. Saudi intervened, pushing the Houthis back and helping Yemen's government regain control of its north. When the Arab Spring uprising spread to Yemen in 2011, the Houthis joined the protest movement that ultimately forced Saleh to step down after a 33-year rule. But Saleh didn't go quietly, and his fight with his replacement, Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi, would destabilise the country, leading to an economic crisis in what was already the region's poorest country. The Houthis saw an opportunity and re-emerged, retaking control in parts of the north. Then, in an unexpected move, they allied with their former enemy Saleh and stormed the capital Sana'a in September 2014. With the former president's system of patronage and corruption and his links within Yemen's divided army, the Houthis were met with little resistance.
أما هذه الخطوة التاريخية الحكيمة الرشيدة الصحيحة السليمة المسؤولة فهي لمصلحة هذا البلد، لأن من مصلحة هذا البلد أن لا يستمر الفراغ. استمرار الفراغ هو الخطأ وهو الخطر.
A new government was formed in Sana'a, and Houthi forces continued to expand their control rapidly, south to Ib province and west to Hodeidah. President Hadi fled the country and sought backup from Saudi Arabia, who was beginning to grow concerned about a Houthi re-emergence and what it could mean for Iran's influence on its border. In March 2015, a coalition led by Saudi and the UAE stepped in and launched a campaign of heavy bombings across Houthi strongholds.
To save Yemen from a takeover by a radical militant group, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and its GCC allies, as well as its allies outside the GCC, have made a decision to respond to the legitimate request by the legitimate president of Yemen and to provide the assistance needed.
The intervention was spearheaded by Mohammed bin
So wait, I don't understand. Who is supporting the Houthis then? I mean, if it's Saudi Arabia, it's against it. It must be by the Saudi Arabia is a Sunni country, right? So it must be the other one. Oh my god, I forgot what's the name of the other faction of Islam. The one led by the Iranian government, no? I guess it's like that.
Salman, then Saudi's Minister of Defense, and dubbed Operation Decisive Storm. As the name suggests, it was intended to be short and swift, reinstating Yemen's government in Sana'a and highlighting Salman's leadership potential ahead of his bid for Crown Prince. But the campaign failed to oust the Houthis, who strengthened their grip on power and continued to expand into government-held territories. A number of UN-led peace talks between both sides were attempted, including ceasefires and prisoner exchanges, but ultimately failed at stopping the conflict. Meanwhile, the humanitarian situation in Yemen became desperate, pushing the already impoverished people to the brink of famine. Human rights organizations accused both the Houthis and the Saudi-led coalition of crimes against humanity, including the targeting of civilian areas, hospitals and schools. In December 2017, Ali Abdullah Saleh formally broke ties with the rebels in a televised speech and announced he was open to dialogue with the Saudi-led coalition.
كل جماهير شعبنا العظيم في كل المحافظات في كل المديريات في كل العزل في كل الأحياء في كل مكان إلى أن يهبوا هبة رجل واحد للدفاع عن الثورة والجمهورية والوحدة والحرية.
The Houthis accused Saleh of treachery. 2 days later, the man who was once deemed invincible and survived numerous assassination attempts was killed by a Houthi sniper in Sana'a. The group began to root out all opposition in areas under their control, accused of detaining and torturing journalists, academics, students and minorities, as well as recruiting child soldiers.
Oh my god, that's the
Meanwhile,
worst.
they continued to expand their territory, launching a series of reprisal attacks into Saudi Arabia. On the 14th of September 2019, Saudi's Aramco oil facilities were hit by drone strikes, shutting down 2 of its main facilities and taking out 5% of the global oil supply. The Houthis claimed the strike, citing it as a victory against their adversary. But Saudi and the US blamed Iran, accusing them of using the Houthis as cover to launch their own attacks on the Gulf.
Fine.
Iran denied playing a role in the attack, as well as repeated accusations that it funded and armed the Shia rebels since the beginning of the war. 6 years on, the Houthis look closer than ever to seizing total control of Yemen, confident they can hold out longer than the Saudis and the Yemeni government. Nearly 6 decades after the Imamate was overthrown, what will happen if the Houthis win the war?
That was really interesting and highly educative. I really like this video, so I advise you to check out the original link and show them some love, because this video was really nicely done. And I welcome any comments under this video. If you have more information to share about the situation in Yemen, I will highly appreciate it, because I really like to learn more about the world we live in, especially if you are a Yemeni person, telling from your perspective everything that is going on. Your comment will count even more than anything that we see on the news or we hear from the radio. So yeah guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any other suggestions, let me know, and I'll see you next time.